alright? No, I'm not alright, Mike. 3 days of this shit got my nerves all rattled.
Why do we keep doing that? Like, it's going this way, like, no, I'm...
Date someone who's emotionally available.
Not my type.
Is where my train.
Gentlemen, welcome back. Hope you're having a great day. I've got another compilation for you, and this one is, unsurprisingly, about dating after divorce. As you may have been able to tell from the start of this video, you know, it doesn't look like things are going quite well for those ones. And I mean, I get they're using those whole TikTok stitches for the most part, or just sounds, but they wouldn't be doing it if they weren't having a hard time, hoping for some sympathy, right? Don't think any of us are capable of that here, but prove me wrong. Either way, let's get into it.
Wreck of a dating life is at right now. A couple months ago, I was ghosted, and for the people out here saying, like, you know, you say that it's not you, but if it happened more than once, like, maybe you should look at it being a you thing, okay? Clearly you are not part of this dating world right now because it's so common.
Yeah, and I've gotten all I need to know in the first 5 seconds. You sound like a train wreck indeed. Look at those crazy eyes, all the makeup, oh my lord. But yeah, it's coming from both sides of the field. Anyways.
Instead of having a conversation, like, people are just ghosting, and that's just like super normal and like expected. It happens to everyone. It happens to the best of them. It's just it's normal now. Doesn't mean that it should be normal, because it's absolutely terrible. And when I say ghosting, I don't mean like, oh, you went out on one date and you never heard from them again. I'm talking like you've been talking for a bit, and suddenly out of nowhere they just kind of like ghost. They, you know, poof, gone. So that happened. My face has to dry. And then I, you know, got back into the dating game. So that's kind of where I'm at right now is I knew that should have ended about 2 months before it did. And I just kept waiting it out because I'm like, I knew in my gut that wasn't the right fit. And so when it finally did come to an end, I was a little bit like, okay, I knew that it was supposed to end. I knew that it should have ended. It was just so one-sided, bare minimal, and I tried. I really, really tried. It wasn't it, and that's okay. And so now I'm just out here, I don't know, I'm just like super content where I'm at in life. And
but you started this video off with saying that you're a train wreck and that things are not going the best for you. So, you know, lie, cope, seethe, whatever you need to do to get on with your life. Really not surprised your last thing, whatever people are calling it nowadays, just saw you for fun and moved on. It is what it is.
And I mean, yeah, I am, you know, out there just like in the dating world, and I am not putting too much stock into it. So I'm just going to enjoy my life and get ready for this event that I have in like 15 minutes.
You might be right. I wasn't looking for anything serious at the time, and I was healing from my divorce. And I do think he did actually care for me a lot. But he could have been very clear with me at the time when he was ready to depart by sharing with me those feelings and saying, I am going to part ways with you now. Instead, he did this 2 days after Christmas. We had spent Christmas Eve together with his daughters, and I had a really wonderful time, and I was feeling a really strong urge to have a conversation with him that I was ready to move into a relationship or something more serious. But I never had that opportunity to do so. Because right after Christmas is when he went silent and ghosted me. So,
Oh, doesn't it sting? Man, it happens to everybody. As this whole ghosting thing is, I agree, terrible, but some people just want a little bit of company over the Christmas holidays, and you know, This guy may have been a divorcee as well and just wanted somebody in his life for the holidays just to show his family that he's doing well and moved on. It could be that simple, really.
It is what it is. I think just ghosting is uncalled for in almost every situation. Don't do it.
So I've been married and divorced 3 times. I think my main problem.
Yeah, that is a big problem there, lady. Once, okay, there has to be a reason for it, but 3 times? What the hell are you doing? Trying to get money from men? That's what I'm assuming, but go off.
Has been that my parents actually liked each other. I didn't see any fussing or fighting or arguing. My parents were a team. If one of them cooked, the other one cleaned, or sometimes one of them did it all because the other one was at work. I didn't see one partner hating on the next or being disrespectful and talking crazy and calling each other out of their names. Like, I didn't see any of that. So I see these couples with these battlefield marriages where they're just constantly arguing. They're constantly hating on each other. They're constantly, calling each other their names and fighting and fussing and all that dumb shit. Like, I'm not interested. I came from a peaceful home, come from a place of love. And I've noticed that a lot of people can't really say that. Like, they saw and witnessed a lot of junk inside their households growing up, and I just didn't. So at the very...
Yeah, and that kind of stuff carries forward into all of your relationships if you don't deal with it. And as more and more people are finding out, I think the best thing to ask on a first date is exactly that. What was your family life like? What was your upbringing like? Do you have siblings? What are they like? It's a very good indicator that somebody's not the best, to be honest with you. Healthy relationships, if you choose to have relationships. Let's move on.
Very inkling of some bullshit, that cheating, the beating, the talking crazy, the fussing, the arguing, the fighting. I'm ready to go because I've seen with my own 2 eyes how 2 people can really care about each other, love each other, and respect each other. And I'm not willing to settle for anything less because I'm not bringing anything less to the table. So yes, I am an advocate for picking up and leaving and starting over if that's what you have to do. There's no reason why you should stay in a situation just because you made a mistake so you can be miserable for the rest of your life.
The interesting thing...
Okay, I kind of trailed off there and then came back, but she made a mistake? Because that would make sense that she was divorced 3 times. If you cheated on 3 men, they found out they're going to want to end things. Crazy, man. You think you'd understand after the first or the second time, but the 3rd time, you should just stay single, make sure that the kids that you may or may not have live good lives, and live out the rest of your life in reflection. Because you sound like a terrible person if that's the case. Let's move on.
Is I actually used to talk to my friends for years about this. I'd be like, listen, I don't understand my husband. Like, when it's just me and him, he acts like he just does not give a shit about me being there. Like, I could literally die tomorrow and like it would not make it, like I could not, it just did not matter. Like, he was just so horribly indifferent towards me. Didn't really want to talk to me, didn't want to engage with me, didn't want to know what was going on in my life or in my mind or in my heart. And I'm like a curious gal, I'm not boring. I read about shit every day. I want to talk about it. I want to think about it. I want to explore stuff. I want to engage. I just want engagement. You know what I mean? I just want us to have a dance. And he just fucking refused to do it. And the reason why I say refuse, and not that he was incapable, is because I saw him showing up in other relationships the way that I wanted him to show up in ours. He would be so just pity party, depressed, whatever, and then you get a phone call from a friend and he'd be laughing, he'd be joking, he'd be on the phone for an hour, no fucking problem. You get off the phone, completely different guy. And it wasn't until I actually shared this with my best friend Lara, who is a trauma-informed life coach, who's also been through
life coach. No, you should be talking to a marriage counselor. Unless this is a relationship, then maybe couples counseling, but it sounds like you've made this man absolutely miserable, and the only joy he gets is from the other people that he speaks with. Insane. I mean, why have you shaved so much of your hair? Like a man? I would not want. Sorry.
Abusive marriages and narcissistic marriages. I shared this with her and she's like, that's actually a narcissistic trait. It's the way that men control their female partners in a relationship, is by withdrawing love and affection and attention and getting you to do all kinds of monkey dances to get it again. And it like flipped the whole thing on its fucking head for me. The other thing that I want to bring up is one of the last conversations that I had with my ex-husband about our divorce. He tried to ask me to explain to him for the millionth time why I was leaving. And for those of you that have not been like following me or anything like that, I asked my husband for a divorce several times before I actually got divorced. And it was always for the same reasons, always the same fucking complaints. And so he sat me down and he's like, I just need you to explain to me like what I did wrong and why you're leaving me. And I remember and he looked so like, he looked like an innocent little boy, just a lost little boy who was just so confused and wanted to know what he did wrong and why I was leaving him, even though he's tried so hard to be my husband, you know. He sat in front of me looking so innocent and lost and hurt. And I fucking looked at him and I was like, don't fucking do this to me, man. Don't fucking sit here and make me explain this to you again. We've been in couples therapy for 4 fucking years. You know exactly why I'm leaving. And I watched his whole fucking face change. He was like a little boy that got caught lying. He was like a little boy that got in trouble. It was one of the nails in the coffin for me on getting divorced, because I was always so back and forth. And this, just watching the facade fade away.
Okay, that's where we're gonna end things. Seriously, 4 years in couples therapy, and that did not work. You really should be considering who you're paying money to. I feel like that kind of stuff gets resolved in months, not years, and didn't end up working out that well. Frankly, the guy should have just served her divorce papers if this woman is telling the truth. But in any case, a lot of the times, it seems like it's a falling out of love, and they're just in the relationship to be in the relationship for either their kids or just because they don't want to be alone. And that's what it is. Really wish guys didn't feel like that and put themselves first, but hopefully if this gets out to enough men that they may change their mind in, you know, situations like this and have the stones to get it done. You should be happy by yourself if you can't be happy with someone else. Why? People go their own way and don't get married. Anyways, I've been prattling on for 13 minutes. Fellas, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your continued viewership, as this is, you know, we got some good compilations coming for you. Anyways, as I always say, always do your due diligence so you don't end up in relationships like that. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.